It's time now for Countywide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Join Paul David and Kyle Benedict as they talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics that affect all our lives in Yavapai County. And now here's today's Countywide.
Welcome to Countywide. I'm Paul David. Great to have you in studio today. We're going to be talking about the Four Fry Project with team lead Annette Fredette. Welcome to studio. Thank you. And assistant team lead Dick Fleischman. Good to have you back.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
All right.
Good to be here.
Four Fry Project. It's a big deal. Where are we at with it? Let's start out with, maybe some folks don't know what the Forest Restoration Initiative is, which we call Four Fry to make it simple.
Yes.
Just what is that, real quick?
Well, this is an initiative. It's the largest collaborative landscape scale restoration initiative in the country, to put it shortly. Its goal is nothing less than the restoration of the ponderosa pine forest stretching across northern Arizona. We're reducing fuels, we're reducing the risk of unnaturally severe wildfires, restoring the structure, pattern composition of forests, and we're providing for wildlife and plant diversity. And another goal is to, while we're doing that, we're creating and developing sustainable industry in the state.
And we're going to kind of hit on all that stuff this morning.
Yeah.
Why was the Four Fry even put together to begin with?
It starts from basically 1996, basically the fires we had around the Flagstaff area that started looking at, the fires are getting a lot larger than what we were used to.
That was the trigger, wasn't it?
That was the initial trigger for the west side of the area, and then the east side of the area, and the Apache Sitgraves, the Radio Chetasky fire in 2002, 470,000 acre fire. Fires start burning at landscape level, so we needed to start looking at solutions at a landscape level. So that actually morphed into those two, east side and west side, the west side being the Coconino National Forest, Kaibab, and the east side, the Apache Sitgraves and Tano, getting together and looking at how do we restore that whole ponderosa pine belt that starts at basically Tucson and goes over to the New Mexico border. In 2010, the initiative was born basically out of an act of Congress that said you can do restoration work at landscape scales. It gave us a little extra funding to do that, and we've been working on it since 2010, and this is a big landmark to us to get that FEIS out right now. Yeah,
anybody who travels I-17 right now, I think, sees the lumber trucks going back and forth between here. Where are they going, Phoenix?
They're going to Phoenix. They're going to, there's actually a new mill in Rimrock, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
right here. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's multiple spots.
All right. Okay. So they've been busy, definitely. I know they were back in the Mountaineer area. That's been kind of the poster child of the thinning of the forest. And then we've got some on 89A and Oak Creek Canyon right there at the top, the switchbacks. There's a road that I think we re-graveled and everything to it, and they've been working pretty hard back in there. Where else are they working right now to kind of thin the forest out and get it back to what it should be?
Well, all across the rim. Apache Sitgraves has had a lot of work done through we had a very large contract over there, the White Mountain Stewardship contract that did about 70,000 acres of mechanical thinning to actually...
70,000?
About 70,000 acres over there. That was since 2004. That thing expired this year. We also have a very large 10-year contract, the Four Fry Phase 1 contract that's associated specifically with this initiative. 300,000 acres. We've had about 3,000 acres of that thinned over the last year, and that work has been on the Apache Sitgraves, and we've started work in around Dogtown Lake on the Kaibab National Forest.
You know, an example of the thinning that's been done so far, I mentioned at the top of the switchbacks with the slide fire this year. We noticed that once the fire got to the top, that's exactly what Forest Service and the firefighters were trying to do. Once it got to the top, it ran into an area that had already been thinned, and that slowed the fire down.
Yeah, that was key to actually getting that thing stopped. One thing that helped us with is a lot of times when you're actually on a fire, you have to do a lot of prep work beforehand, cutting trees, thinning, before you can actually burn that out. We're able to just light and go, so that really helped us. And actually that fire got on the ground, burnt like it's supposed to, rather than the trees.
Right, the way they have been lately. Annette, now maybe we should make a point to mention that this is not just something that the Coconino National Forest, Tonto, Apache Sitgraves, and Kaibab are working on. There's a lot of different, it says 30 stakeholders on this little press release I have. There's 30 stakeholders involved in this. Who are some of the stakeholders?
We have a variety of groups. We have Ecological Restoration Institute that sits on the NAU campus, and we have Salt River Project. We have a variety of groups, both industry groups and conservation groups, a huge variety of groups in our stakeholder group. And having just come a few months ago and seen other projects, other large projects where there's collaboration involved, this is the most extensive collaboration I've ever seen on a project, and it's wonderful. It's great. We have this entire stakeholder group that is extremely actively engaged, and they are just, it's great to see.
Everybody's working really well together?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's all this discussion among these people with a variety of viewpoints and values, and they discuss, they argue, they help us immensely, because then they come to some kind of compromise and they help us do the same thing.
Nice.
In between the
Nice. And this has been going on since 2012? Four Fry Project?
2010.
2010 was when the initiative started. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long is it going to take to accomplish the Four Fry?
The long-term goal is 1 million acres of restoration over a 20-year time frame.
Okay.
So we're just at the beginning, and one of the key things about that, Annette mentioned earlier, was getting industry in place that can actually take the output of our restoration acres and actually have some kind of sustainable industry that's appropriately sized for the area. So that's one thing that's starting to happen locally here. We have it in the White Mountains. We're starting on the west side on the Apache or the Coconino and the Kaibab. 2 new mills actually are in place within the last 6 months, and we anticipate our large contractor under Good Earth Power that has the large 4 Fry Phase 1 contract to actually have manufacturing capacity on this west side within the next month or so is what we've heard from them. So.
And briefly tell me again, Phase 1, what does Phase 1 exactly encompass again?
Okay, so 4 Fry as an initiative, it covers, it's a big umbrella. It covers not only this Phase 1 EIS project area, and the additional restoration that will allow us to do, but it also covers the work that's already going on, all the projects that were already covered by, as we call our NEPA analysis, that is already ongoing, and the work is already happening. It also covers the Phase 1, what we call the Phase 1 contract, which is a large contract with many task orders that Good Earth Power has. So it covers all of the restoration work basically across these 4 forests, across northern Arizona.
It's not just thinning and prescribed burning, but it's also channel restoration, wildlife habitat improvement, trail and road maintenance, relocating roads that are causing resource degradation. So it's comprehensive in nature.
It's not just about the trees, then.
It's not just about the trees.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay, there's a lot more to the forest than just trees growing in it.
Right. We have spring and channel restoration, road decommissioning. We have aspen and grassland restoration as part of this. So
okay, so nice. All right, complete makeover for the forest, huh? And now a lot of the work's going on the Coconino, right? Coconino and Kaibab right now.
This Phase 1 EIS covers portions of the Kaibab and the Coconino.
Okay.
And then the next EIS will expand and cover some of the other forests.
Is Phase 1 kind of set in stone? We've been there and we've done Phase 1, and it's underway, and it's all that work is being taken care of, and it's kind of running itself right now. And now we're working on Phase 2. We've been working on Phase 2.
Well, actually, you have all the ongoing projects are kind of across the forest, all 4 forests. But you have, or at least 3 of them, and then you have, that's one set of, NEPA ready basically projects that we could actually start working on.
Okay.
And actually doing the field work on. So that's across them. The Phase 1 EIS actually is the analysis and gives us the legal authority with that analysis of the rest of another area, of a large area with the Coconino and the Kaibab that doesn't have NEPA analysis done on it yet. And this EIS, this Phase 1 EIS, gives us that.
So as soon as these
we can
NEPA
do
analysis.
additional work.
Okay,
Yes.
so you get the EIS, and then once the NEPA process is done for each of these little pieces, then that project can get started.
Then we
So
can start
get started.
implementing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Right.
we can't implement unless we have the environmental documentation as completed through the National Environmental Policy Act. So
Gotcha.
this
And a
this gives us
decision.
that opportunity.
Yeah, and a
Gotcha.
decision. For instance, and this might be a good time to bring this up, the major milestone right now, this week, today, is that the final EIS for Phase 1 and the draft record of decision, the legal notice is out in the papers today, and tomorrow the notice of availability, another legal requirement of ours, will be published in the Federal Register. So those are out for review and consideration, and they start an objection process, which I can describe later.
Okay, yeah, let's
But,
take.
yeah.
Could we take our? We have to take our first break.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say. All right.
Okay.
Four Fry team leaders, Annette Fredette and team lead Dick Fleischman in studio today. I'm Paul David, Countywide, back in just a couple minutes.
At Gettle's High Desert Mechanical, rather than do lots of things, we focus on doing one thing right. We serve climate-challenged people. Gettle's starts with a free system evaluation to identify the best AC and heating equipment for your home or business. Professional installation, warranties, and service after the sale. If you're climate-challenged, then we're the right choice. Gettle's High Desert Mechanical, the name to trust.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
You wouldn't let money just blow out of your house. So when your AC or heater is on, make sure the doors, windows, and fireplace flue are shut tight. If you're headed out, turn down the AC or lower the heat by 10 degrees. And always keep your water heater set at 120. A little bit of common sense goes a long way. Get more great tips at energysaver.gov.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year, 1 in 195 million. The odds of the child being diagnosed with autism, 1 in 68. I'm Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Welcome back to Countywide. Four Fry team lead Annette Fredette and assistant team lead Dick Fleischman in studio today. Number to call if you have questions is 928-527-3600. Tonight there is an open house. It is December 4th, Thursday, so if the show re-airs, just keep that in mind. It was on December 4th. From 6 to 7:30, it's going to be in the Flagstaff Aquaplex building on 4th Street. Right. So that's coming up tonight. It's just an open house to kind of, well, they'll have the EIS there and the DOD. I love talking like that, right?
Yeah.
It abbreviates so many things. Yeah. It's so nice. That's what we wanted to kind of kick off right here, right? We were talking about the EIS and the DOD. Let's continue on with that.
Yeah, it's the draft ROD, or Record of Decision, which is a draft decision. So we're putting out the final environmental impact statement and then the draft decision, and that starts what we call our objection period or process, which means that people reviewing those, if they still have some concerns, they can express those in what we call objections, and for 45 days following today, until January 20th, they can send in what we call objections to either, the FEIS or the draft ROD. Now there is a stipulation. It's not the same as a comment period like we had during scoping and on the draft EIS, but people that file objections must have submitted comments on that subject during one of the comment periods.
Oh, okay.
But the really nice thing is it gives people another chance before a final decision is made to object to something.
So what happens after the 45 days?
After the first initial 45 days that people have to file an objection, then there's another 45 to 60-day period where we review those. The regional forester, Cal Joyner, will decide on, you know, if he wants to meet with people and sit down with people and try to reach some kind of resolution on the objections. And basically it's another chance for us to meet with people who still have concerns and see if we can, you know, compromise or come up with something to help them resolve their concerns.
And then after we're done with that?
And after that, there's a decision that comes out on the objections, and then we prepare the final record of decision, the final decision, which we're expecting to come out in the spring of 2015.
Okay, and this DOD...
Then we can implement.
Then we can start...
Then we can implement.
But then we do have to go to the NEPA processes for each of the projects that want to be done?
No. This is the NEPA process for the rest of the acres in the project, in the first project area that have not already been covered and aren't already being implemented.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So this EIS gives us the chance to do another, I think it's calling for about 600,000 acres or more. Potential to do even more restoration than we've already started, that's already covered by NEPA. So basically it gives us the NEPA for a lot more acres so we can do even more.
It fills in the gaps for the other analysis we have. So now we have landscape-wide area analysis and the legal authority to actually do our accelerated restoration. That's our goal, is to accelerate the restoration, because every spring, you know how it is around here.
Oh yeah,
we're on pins and needles, and the faster we can actually get it into a more desired condition of less trees per acre, and actually start opening up that understory, and get those fires down on the ground where we can actually handle them rather than the canopies.
I think we can say spring. We've had 3 or 4 wildfires just in the last couple of weekends up in Coconino. You know, just sparks and stuff. I think I-40 outside of Kingman had 10 fires over the weekend because of a flat tire.
Each district last weekend had a fire. So there was one on the Red Rock district. There was one on the Muggy.
That's right. Yeah, Grasshopper Point. There was a fire there too.
A couple larger ones on the Flagstaff Ranger district.
So obviously there's still work to be done.
Correct.
And we're never out of wildfire season here too.
It doesn't seem like it.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, it's always. You know, we had the monsoon. We got all these tall grasses now, which we know are going to probably come back and haunt us this next spring if we don't have a good winter and a nice wet spring. So there's all kinds of dangers. Now we're already starting work on a little over 1 million acres, right?
Correct.
Is that correct? Okay. How many more acres are we looking at before we're done between the Coconino, the Kaibab, Apache Sitgreaves, and Tonto?
So since the initiative started, basically, that's since 2010, we've done about 300,000 acres out of that million goal is what we're looking at as far as some kind. And we expect, and so we're at about the 15 for mechanical treatments, about 15,000 acres. We want to get that up to about 50,000 acres a year to get to that million acres over the 20-year time frame.
Okay.
With our fire, though, we've been able to use actually wildfire ignitions actually managed a bunch of those acres for resource benefits. So Sitgrave's fire on the Kaibab forest last year was a real good example. Then there were some other ones just above on the Kaibab as well.
We had several this year too.
Yeah,
where
we
they
did
just
about
burned
40
good areas.
Yeah, about 45,000 acres this last year, being able to use that. And once we get these forests open, we can actually expand that window to where we can use natural ignitions, and that's better for the public as far as smoke, because it ventilates a whole lot better in the summertime. That smoke goes up and goes out. You know what happens when we burn in the fall.
Right now, it sits down and it just choked out all day.
Yeah, it chokes out. So hopefully get fire back into when it historically burned around here in the summertime, and actually get that in place. But opening those canopies up and actually getting the trees per acre back to what we call natural range of variability, number of trees per acre, what we're here from more of a historic level, get them down towards that. We're not going to get the restoration in one fell swoop. It's going to take time. But that's our goal, and then we'll be able to use fire like it was supposed to be used, and in times where the where the smoke impacts aren't quite as bad. We're still going to have smoke, though, that's for sure.
Of course, it's Arizona. We have to take another break already. Fry team lead Annette Fredette in studio today, and assistant team lead Dick Fleischman in studio. I'm Paul David. This is Countywide. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
Hey, Hard, what's this?
That's my resignation letter.
You're resigning.
Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you get stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit.
I forgot. I'll do better. Please, don't quit on me.
Okay, but remember, it's not what you say, it's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
At Gettles High Desert Mechanical, rather than do lots of things, we focus on doing one thing right. We serve climate-challenged people. Gettles starts with a free system evaluation to identify the best AC and heating equipment for your home or business. Professional installation, warranties, and service after the sale. If you're climate-challenged, then we're the right choice. Gettles High Desert Mechanical, the name to trust.
You make me wear my bike helmet. Taught me never to run with scissors.
You tell me to stay away from drugs.
To always buckle my seatbelt. And to follow the swimming rules.
You're always looking out for me and trying to keep me safe.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
Here in the garage.
Closet. Shoebox. Under the bed.
Where anyone can get to it.
How safe is that?
How safe is that?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. If you own a firearm and are not using it, please be responsible and be sure that it's stored in a safe place. Remember, always lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org.
Welcome back to Countywide. We've got just a couple minutes left of the program. If you have questions, 928-527-3600. And this is also posted on Coconino, Kaibab, Apache Sitgreaves, and Tonto National Forests, I would imagine.
On their website, yeah.
Yeah, on their websites.
And on the Fry website.
Yeah, just look for Fry on those websites, and you should be able to find all kinds of information about it. Job creation, yes, from this? We've got mills popping up,
yeah, we've got a couple new mills.
That's been long gone.
Yeah,
in the history of Arizona,
on the west side, there's one actually in Rimrock, one in Williams now. Like I said, we expect another one in the Flagstaff corridor area here with announcement on that within the next month. So each one of those will have jobs actually at that manufacturing, and then also the removal out in the woods, and those also have spin-offs from the materials they buy through the community. So there will be job creation.
It's amazing how over time, instead of having these big trees that we cut down and turned into lumber, now we can take those little trees and there's all kinds of things we can use and make those small trees into.
They have to use the entire tree to make it pay for itself. So chips, dust from what they cut, and then the lumber material coming out of it as well.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Now, we also wanted to make clear before we say goodbye that this is not just about a little chunk of the forest here and there. This is about all 4 of these forests in northern Arizona. This covers all of them. This part of the plan right here.
This is a huge initiative. The FEIS and decision that are coming out now. This is just a piece of it, and it allows us to do even more than we're already doing, but the initiative also covers the ongoing work that we already have that's already being completed, and it also includes the large Phase 1 contract, as we call it, which is one large contract with a lot of work engaged too. So it's a big umbrella.
It's a big umbrella.
Yeah, the initiative is a big umbrella.
Well, all right, Annette, very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Dick, good to see you again.
Good to see you again.
All right, that's today's Countywide for Fry. Number again, 928-527-3600. That's today's Countywide. We'll talk to you again next time.